Okay, so I'm going to start in this video kind of what I've been doing. I made some bracelets. I've made a bunch of bracelets throughout my entire life, but these are just some of the ones that I decided to put in this video. So this is my MGK bracelet, Machine Gun Kelly. So it's MGK, and then I've got the gunner, We Lit Up. So you can see MGK, We, and then Lit Up, and then the gunner. So that's that. And then this one is also a match with it on there, so it comes as a set. But it's it says High Faith Life Cute. Cute High Faith Life. Because we're high on life and we're cute and, well, gotta have faith. So, faith. It's backwards. Life. Can't really see that one. High. And cute. Okay. And then, of course, these bracelets. Just made them kind of fun. This is actually a set also. This is not a set. This is just by itself. And of course, I have these ones that I put together. So there's 3 fun little bracelets. They fit on the wrist. They're stretchy. They're just fun. I like the colors. And of course I made my little bear. I make bears. This is a forever bear. Just for fun. Made a little dress for it. A bow. It stands up and everything. Ooh. Then I made a little Kirby. This one I did with homemade clay, and I painted it, and I also did some glaze. It has a little hair on it. Okay, and then I put some rhinestones for the eyes. So as you can see, that's Kirby. And I made a little platform for him to go in, so it's a little metal bottom. I painted it and everything. Painted the inside of this. Made the platform for him to stand on with the smooth surface. Painted all that. And he just sits right in there. Oh no. He loves food. And, you know, he can sit wherever. You know. I like to put him on surfaces too. He sits there perfect. You know. Little Kirby. Okay, so anyway. And then of course I made this. It's a bottle cap container. Or a pop tab container. So of course, that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be painting some pop tabs. And this opens. Of course, and you can see all the pop tabs that are in there. So eventually I'm going to put them on something, but I haven't decided what I'm going to put them on just yet. But I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Of course, some of these are already painted. Let's see here. And then just pop back the lid. And I like this because it has that little thing. So if they're already colored, just stick them in here. So in anything that's plain, I'm going to paint So I do all kinds of stuff. I got these ones. I do gold. I do blue and purple. That's like a teal, and this one's purple, but you can't really tell. This one's a dark blue. Oh, I guess you can tell. Okay, so yeah, you can tell that's purple. It's just hard for me to see on my lighting. But that's the blue, purple, and then the teal. And they're all, they have glitter in them. So I'm going to separate all the colors and then go from there. Let's see here. It'll take forever. I'll probably speed up, but I don't want to do that. Gotta put this in here. Okay, that's going to take a little too long, so I kind of change my mind as I go sometimes. So we'll just do this. I don't like, sometimes I'm a little impatient, and this definitely doesn't really help with patience. I mean, it definitely tries your patience if you like tedious work. Sometimes I like tedious work at times, but other times it's like torturing myself. I like the green ones, because those are pretty. I apologize, I'm kind of tired. It's been a long week. Okay, so let's see. Let's try to. Let's see, let's put this in there. I do mix the colors at times. So like there's like yellow on the top, or gold. Then there's like a teal on the bottom, and then like a pinkish mauve kind of color. I don't know, maybe coral. That's what it looks like to me anyway. Of course, I got the monster tabs. Those are one of my favorites. Let's see, I'm going to try and... This one, here's another one. This one's one of my favorites. It's got the purple with the blue. Makes it fun. Oh, shoot. Isn't that crazy, huh? Put that in there. That's not a pop tab. Okay, and that's not a pop tab either. Oh, back of an earring. Which some of these are going to be put on earrings anyway. So I make earrings, I make jewelry. Let's see, is that one? Okay, there we go. Oh, this one I also made. It's half and half. It's got blue on one side and gold on the other. I like those ones. Oh, that one has, that's what this is. Oh, that's a bead. Move that out of the way. Probably should have done this before the video, but I guess you can see the process. How I like to do things, I guess, the hard way. I do put gemstones or rhinestones on things. That was on a pair of earrings, but I decided to change them, so that is temporarily not an earring. Let's see here. I'm almost done sorting these. Oh, that one's pretty. It's blue. Okay, I think all of those pretty much. Yeah. So I'm just gonna make it easier. Okay, so anyway. And of course I got my little Bible with me. There's Kirby. See if these will fit right here. You can kind of see what I do. Okay. I like Kirby. He's my inspiration for today. Okay, actually, and I'm thinking inspiration calls for a little Bible reading. So I'm going to read Job today, chapter 34, verse 12 through 15. So, of a truth, God will not do wickedly, and the Almighty will not pervert justice, who gave him charge over the earth, and who laid on him the whole world. If he should set his heart to it, and gather to himself his spirit and his breath, all flesh would perish together, and man would return to dust. I like that. It's a great read. And of course I got it all highlighted in my Bible. And there. It's kind of something for today, I guess. Okay. You gotta have the light, because with this, oh, oops. Yikes, a yida. Dropping everything. I have no energy, I'm sorry. This is what happens to you when you deal with prolonged trauma for 15 years. It drains the life out of your own life. But I'm trying, so each day is a new day of progress. Okay, so we'll do this instead. Let's see. I don't know if you can see all those. Okay, I'm just gonna adjust this so you can see more. Boop-a-doo. Okay, this right here. Okay, let's put this right here. A little Kirby inspiration. Hee. He eats a lot of food. If I had a little burger to set right next to him, I would totally sit a little burger right there. And maybe a pizza. Because Kirby in the video game, oh, we all know, he loves to eat food. It gives him energy. Anyway, that's what I need, energy. Okay, so I'm going to start my little black light because I have to set the paint once I'm done painting each one. So this is what I'm just going to do. So it's going to be like a little short thing. You want to make sure that it's not underneath your light, the cord. Otherwise, you'll end up with a fire, and nobody needs a fire. So I think I'm going to set it right here. Let's see how I'm going to do this. I'll do it this way. Be really careful. Oh, I put it backwards. Let's see here. Okay, let's set this right here. Okay, that should be fine. Actually, I'm going to set Kirby up here because I feel like he's safer up there. Put these right here. As you can tell, I didn't plan this very well. But that's just how I am. Random. And I like it that way. Okay, let's stick this. Little bear on her pedestal. Okay, now the paint. And I've got different colors. I got purples, I've got a green, I have gold, I have pink. Not like the girly pink, which I wish I actually had. But I'm not going to do that today. Alright, let me see. And here's some rhinestones, but I'm probably not going to do rhinestones right now because I'm going to wait until this all sets. So, anyways. So let us begin painting these. So a little I like pop tabs. I think they're fun. Okay, I'm tired. Okay, so that one I did like a green, or teal I should say. You have to be really careful because with this you have to let it set. Okay, and then I'm going to stick it underneath this on there so to let it cure. Let's see, I'll do this one. This one's purple. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This one's dark blue. It's like a dark blue color. See? Very pretty. Stick that under there. And these ones I like because they're small and you can stick them underneath the light, so you don't have to stick just one under the light. You can put, I don't know, about 10 or 15 of them if you can, depending on how you set them in there. It's up to you. But I like to do this because I like to put pop tabs on things on there. I just do it for fun. I'm an artist, so I like to do different creative projects, I guess you might say. I've been doing all this fun stuff since I was a kid, and I'm still a kid inside, so what can I say? I love art. I love creating things. I enjoy this. It actually helps me with coping. Sometimes I have a hard time distracting myself, but for the most part, this is actually the only thing that really keeps me from really trying to think about negative situations that happen to me, trauma experiences that I don't want to relive ever again, and different things. So this is actually just something that it helps me breathe. And I just barely started getting back into it, but this is what I like to do. And this is not the only thing. I do other things other than just paint pop tabs. I mean, I draw, I paint, I make things, obviously. I sculpt. I can make dishes, and I make cartoons. I did not make Kirby. This is not my own cartoon, but I did recreate him, and this is for my own personal use because I know how it is. I love Kirby. He's my favorite, or one of my favorite things in video games other than Yoshi and Mario's, or Super Mario Brothers. And I don't care what anyone else says. He's amazing. And he looks like bubblegum. And I like gum. Okay, so... Alright. So this one I'm going to keep a little light, but it looks fairly nice. I might do a top coat later, but I don't know. I kind of like the way that one looks, so I'm going to stick that in there. It does take about 10 minutes for these to cure. Sometimes it takes longer depending on how many coats you do, so because I'm using epoxy resin, it's going to take some time. That one's black. I like how that one came out better. You see the glitter? The little speckles. Okay, this one I might just be able to put in like 10 of them. So I have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 so far. So yeah, so probably 10 at a time for this light. If I'm really gonna be quite honest, because this light's actually a little small. But that's okay, because sometimes it's better to do it in small amounts. I just try to do things one day at a time. So I'm trying to set a pace for myself so that way I'm not overdoing things and not overwhelming myself, not spending too much time on things that I shouldn't be spending too much time on. I'm just trying to regain, I don't know, some self-compassion, I suppose. Which is very difficult for me to have for myself. I have compassion for everyone else except for myself, and that's hard because, well, I call it the curse because I care too much about other people that I don't pay attention to my own self. And I guess this is my way of saying, hello, I'm paying attention to you today. It's not very exciting. It's actually very difficult for me to do this video today. I really don't have much energy. But I am working on that with my doctor, trying to find out why I don't have any energy other than the depression and the PTSD that I am struggling with. And the things that I went through just were really, really hard to go through. Like, this is not easy for me. But I also have, I might be looking at another surgery for a pituitary microadenoma. I don't know what it's doing, but I've had 2 MRIs so far, and my neurologist is still trying to figure out what's going to happen. So we'll go from there. But in the meantime, I'm just going to enjoy life, and I'm going to still live my life, and I'm going to try just keep pushing, and God will be my guide, and I'll still have my family and my friends that are there that love me and support me. And I'm just going to take my time and do the best I can. Okay, I guess I'm really liking this this gold color, so I'm going to do this. Because this one is actually really pretty. Like, I really love that gold. The yellow gold. Looks better on this than inside the bottle. Okay, so there's 10 of them that I've done so far. I'm just going to let them sit. It takes about 10 minutes, like I said. Sometimes they do take 2 minutes, depending on how, like I said, how thick the layer is that you put on the top. But I've done quite a bit of these in the past couple weeks. And I did some last month. I kind of had to put the project down because I kind of got distracted, and so I ended up doing something else in the meantime. But you know, sometimes even if you didn't finish a project, sometimes it's always nice to be able to just pick it up back later, and it doesn't matter because, you know, at least you're still doing it, you know, and I'm still working on things and just trying to, I guess, regain my confidence from, like, when you deal with abuse for a long time, like what I went through. I experienced a really abusive relationship. Actually, I was in 2 abusive relationships, but the first one, it was for about 10 years, and I had a hard time leaving because I was in love with the man, and I thought that I was going to spend the rest of my life with him, and he was doing things that weren't right. I'm just gonna keep it simple. He was just doing the wrong things. He was treating me wrong. I was being treated wrong by other people alongside of him treating me wrong, because of things that he was saying that were not true. He was lying about me and different things, and just he put me through the worst experience I've ever had in a relationship in my entire life. And I tried to convince myself to stay, just like anyone else would. Like, oh, I'm just going to make an excuse for him, right? Like everybody kept telling me, and I'm like, no, it's not an excuse. It's just how he is, yada, yada, yada. But, you know, it was a matter of principle. You know, when you love somebody, you don't hurt them. And you don't treat them like they don't exist. And you don't abuse the people you love. Okay? There's a difference between making a mistake by accident and not intentionally doing something to somebody versus actually abusing somebody, knowing it's wrong, and then continually doing it, and then causing bruises and just scars and wounds that, whether they're physical, mental, it doesn't matter. It still puts a hardship and a weight on your spirit. Like your inner light is like dimmed. And that's how I felt anyway. Like my inner light was being dimmed. I felt like by some demon, and even though he wasn't a demon, I just felt like just the way he was acting, it was not the way somebody that I know would, it just wasn't right. It was just abnormal. There was no love. I mean, if he did love me, it was only for his own benefit, not mine. There was no benefit on my end, because when I loved him, it was because I loved him and I wanted me and him together. And I wanted both of us to love each other right. But I can't choose for another human being how to be. I just can't, So I ended up having to walk away after 10 years. And then I met some other guy after that. I met his mom first, and then I met him, and I'm just sitting there thinking, what a great, breath of fresh air. Well, and that ended up, after 2 years of being with that one, he started becoming abusive. First, I witnessed him abusing his mother, and then he started abusing me. And I was like, this isn't right, okay? And so, but, like the curse in me again, the caring person that I am, and that it's embedded in my heart that if I don't care about somebody that I love, that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. Like, when you love somebody, you don't just leave them. You try to forgive, and you try to do things that are right, and you try to amend things, and like you try to live your life the way God wanted or directed you to live your life, and you try to make the right choices for your own self, and then try to grow with somebody else. And it's like, where's the growth? All they wanted to do was suck the life out of me. So I ended up leaving that one after, well, I want to say about 5 years, if I'm going to round, but it was like probably around 4, more like 4.5 years that I was with that one. And then I just finally was like, you know what? I'm an idiot. I must be that ignorant to sit there and allow myself to go through this again. So I finally was like, you know what? I can't do this. So I left that one too. And that was like about 15 years worth of abuse right there. To me, is not okay. So that's kind of what it is. And right now, this is all I've got right now. I've got God, and I've got my art, and that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, but I'm going to paint a couple. I'm hoping to get these done today, but if not, that's all right. But I do like painting these. And then I like to make things with them. I'm thinking about making a box or something and then putting these on there. I guess I'll find out. Maybe some jewelry. But it's just fun. I do it as a distraction, which is a coping skill. Okay. I'm going to set that one aside. That's not going to dry right away. I'll let these other ones dry first. But I really am having a hard time with this video. It took a lot of energy for me to decide to do this. But I'm glad I did it because, hey, they say if you never do anything, then you'll never know. So that's what I'm doing. At least I'm trying. It's one step forward. I like this purple. I made a bottle tab purse with these, which I'm not going to show in this video, but maybe in the next video, if I decide to do another one with this stuff, I'll show that one. Okay, I hope I didn't knock anything down. Last time I knocked it down, all the paint came out and went everywhere. Luckily it wasn't epoxy. Luckily it was just acrylic. Because epoxy actually is a little bit, I don't know, I think it's just, I mean, it might be, I think it's easier to clean acrylic, to be honest. Epoxy is more one of those finite things because it doesn't dry like acrylic does. So you definitely don't want to get it on stuff and then find out later you didn't get all of it and then it didn't dry and then now you got paint all over you. Like, that is not going to happen. I just love the way this sparkles. Like, it just, the pretty glitter in the purple, like, it just makes me want to eat it. But I'm not going to because this is not edible. Do not eat this. Okay, so I'm going to switch a different color. do, 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 do. I'm definitely glad I wore gloves because as the artist that I am, even though I've done art my whole life, I'm still messy. It doesn't matter what level you are in art, you're gonna get messy no matter what. So plan on it. Even if you have the apron and the gloves. Like, I had gloves and an apron one day and I was painting and I still got it in my hair. I still got it on my clothes somehow. It doesn't matter. But I don't normally get it in my hair. That was one day, but I'm just saying, like, there's certain things that sometimes even if you have your hair up in a bun, it still don't matter. It just depends on what you're doing. But, you know, I wouldn't be an artist if I didn't have some paint in my face or my hair. So I breathe in and swim in it, I guess. Because I love it that much. Oh my god. Okay. This one has sequins. Or I'm sorry, not sequins. It has a... Actually, well, they might be sequins. Little star shapes. Glitter. Different things. This one's pretty. I don't know if you can see that star. Somewhere in there. Okay. Man, whatever it was last night, it sucked the energy out of me. Because I have no energy today. At all. My voice is even gone. That's what happens when you're in pain. I don't think this one's dark enough. This pink. Well, it's like a reddish pink. It's definitely not my favorite. That one, it's not bad. Let's do some half ones. Let's see, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 16 tabs left. So I guess I'll try to get these done in this video, I guess. I was gonna take a break, but okay, let's see here. This one's kind of bent, but I'm gonna work with that. Sometimes it gives it character. You gotta take imperfections with perfections, because there's nothing that's perfect regardless. It doesn't even matter how perfect it looks. There's always a flaw somewhere. Blue. Just kind of doing these ones kind of basic, but nothing too exciting. Actually, let's see. I'm going to do this one blue and purple, I think. Let's do half of this. Oh yeah, now that looks good. I like that. Gives a good transition. Woo. The lighting's not that great in here. I'm gonna do half of this purple. This one's gonna be teal. Teal and purple. Okay, so that one's gonna be teal and gold. I think these ones should be done drying, but I don't know. Let me double check, because sometimes, every now and then, you get one that doesn't dry and it makes it the worst thing on the planet. Okay, so this one's done. So now that's the end result. If you can see it. Oh, shoot. I'm dropping things. Okay, so anyway, so there's the end result on that one. Yes, they will stick to each other. That's normal. You just don't want them to be wet. So if you touch it and it has paint on your finger, you probably need to put it right back underneath that black light. UV light, black light. I think of it all the same. Okay, and I don't stick them in the container right away. Like this one. Like I'll stick them off to the side. Just kind of let them sit for a little bit. Since they just came out of the light. So here's like these ones. Here. I'll do a second video on what I'm going to do with these pop tabs, because I am going to make these into a crafty little experiment. It's my art project that I have planned. But this is the beginning. So, yeah. Okay. And then these ones I'm just going to dry. That's kind of what I've been doing. Like I said, I'm working on my energy. I'm working on regaining my strength and different things. So, like I said, if you're ever in an abusive situation, like I was, just leave. I know it's not simple, and I know it's not easy to leave because you love them. And there's circumstances that make it really compromising to want to actually, or even if it's not a matter of wanting, even if it's a matter of you just don't have a place to go, you don't know what to do. I understand. I've been there, and it's hard. Just if you feel like it's the right thing for yourself, I would leave. But I'm going to say right now, leave when it's safe to leave, especially for your own heart, and protect your own mental wellness. Because if your mind isn't right, you're not right. And if you're not right, you can't help yourself. So you would have to have somebody help you. You want to make sure that you're around healthy people and you're away from that abuse. And even if the healthy people that you think are healthy are abusive, find another place to go, because you don't want to be back in that same isolating situation, like going from one place to another and then having to leave because you find that you left one situation and that was difficult enough. Okay, because like for my experience, like I left physical abuse, and that was hard because it was 10 years of going back and forth, and that's really difficult because when you love somebody, like I'm saying, it's hard for you to leave. Well, I know it was hard for me to leave because of circumstances that were surrounding it. Like, I don't have kids, but even if I don't have kids, it still makes it hard because, you still have to have money to be in a hotel. You still have to find a place to go. It has to be healthy. If it's not healthy and if you're not feeling safe, then you shouldn't be there. And you're feeling like you're trapped and you're stuck in this circle. And it is a circle. It's a cycle, and it's still abuse. It's that never-ending cycle of hell that you don't deserve. So I always say, just try to do the best you can, and just, if there's nobody else, there is God. And if you don't believe in God, even if you believe in a higher power, that's all it is. You just keep your dignity and don't let it change who you are. Alright, I'm going to end this video, but thank you for watching, and I'm Misfitme86. I don't fit the puzzle like everybody else. I'm my own unique person. That's why I'm Misfit Me. My name is Crystal Anderson, and I hope you have a good day, and God bless.